Good morning, all my dear students. I hope you are doing well at your home. Today, we are going to start with a very easy chapter of Science, Class 9, which is chapter number 14 Natural Resources, Part 1. I hope you will enjoy. In part 1, I have briefly explained all the natural resources which can be categorized under renewable as well as non-renewable. So part 1 is all about introduction, and in part 2 I have discussed about all this natural resources, their uses, their advantages and disadvantages in very much of detail. So you have to refer both the parts, and as well as you have to write the question answers for the same. Start first with the natural resources. Now this word is not new to anybody, not even to me, not even to you. So the word itself says that natural resources. That means something that we get from the nature. So they are called the natural resources. If I asked you which are the natural resources, you will have the list which is endless. Majorly they are water, soil, sunlight, fire. This all thing come under the category of natural resources. Now there are so many other natural resources which are yet to be discovered. We will talk about those resources in detail. Now, here is the question, what is a natural resource? So, 4 points are given to you. The first point is, a natural resource is a source of product that are inherent to the earth. That means they are blessed to us by the earth. Now you know that everything what gives us sustainability of life, or we are able to live our life peacefully or nicely, that is because of all the elements which are blessed to us with the help of earth and the sources. So any source which comes from the earth, they will come under the category of natural resources. Second, the natural resource include renewable and non-renewable resources. Now you know the meaning of word, that is renewable and non-renewable. So the renewable is which you can or anybody can recycle, and non-renewable, that means once they are used or once they are finished, you cannot regain back. So this natural resources are categorized under renewable as well as non-renewable sources of energy. Third is, natural resources are exploited to create the product and services that we depend on. Now this is very important topic. Now we are using this natural resources for our own benefits, and sometimes we don't think that they might get exploited or they might get over for the further generation use. Let me give you an example like petrol and petroleum products. We are using petroleum products so heavily or without thinking that one day they might got vanish and they won't be available for our coming generation. So we are not using them wisely. Or I can say that this natural resources are exploited to create the product of human being needs. So we are dependent highly upon those resources. Fourth point is, natural resources extraction cause great environmental disruption. Now you know that all this natural resources that we are using, sometime if they are not well used, that means if they don't get burned completely, for example petrol or petroleum products when used in the car. Now if that car engine is so old or if it is not so in a good condition, they will not burn this petroleum products in good condition, or they will not burn this petroleum product completely, leading to the release of the poisonous gases to the environment. I'll give you one more example, which is goods train. Now goods train mainly use coal or koila as a fuel. Now this coal, when on burning or incomplete burning, release lots of poisonous gas in the form of sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxide. When this gas is released to the air or atmosphere, it will lead to the air pollution. So these four are the major characteristics of the natural resources. So in examination, if they ask what is a natural resource, you will summarize all 4 points in detail. Now, as we just discussed, there are two types of resources. The first is renewable and second is non-renewable. Now, word itself explains renewable, that means that can come again and again even after using, and non-renewable, that means once we use that product, it is going to get vanish or used up completely. Now here in picture you can see some examples of renewable sources. They are wind. You can see the windmills here. You might have studied in class 8 or 7 about the windmill. You know the solar energy. We have been studying photosynthesis since long. Like in class 2nd or 3rd, we have been introduced with the photosynthesis. That photosynthesis requires solar energy and we all are ultimately dependent on the solar energy. And the third is forest. Now you might be like, you might ask the question, ma'am, where this forest is useful to us. So you know that we are highly dependent upon the wood which we get from the forest trees, even some medicinal use, and after years and years of process, this forest animals or forest trees, they get buried under the soil and they convert into the petroleum or the coal products. Now sometimes these products are so important that they are giving us a huge amount of energy that we are using for our industrial purposes. So these are the sources of renewable sources, which means that you can regrow or regain them. Now sun energy is the ultimate source of energy. It is said that what energy we get from the sun in our 8 minutes is enough for almost 10 lakhs of years. That means you can imagine that how abundant source of energy it is. Wind energy, wind is free of cost. Of course, you need to build the wind farms. Of course, you need to build windmills, but they are only a one-time investment. After that, whatever energy we get from the wind farms or windmills, they are completely free of cost. So they have also come under the category of renewable resources. Now let's discuss about the wind. That what is wind? You all know we cannot see wind, but we all can experience wind. So wind is caused by the uneven heating of the atmosphere. Like somewhere the temperature is 30 degree and somewhere the temperature is 40 degree. So because of this uneven heating, that cause the or that arises the wind to flow from one direction to the other. So some areas of world such as coastal region where the oceans are there have more wind than the others because the terrain of the area is relatively flat and has few obstacles to block the wind from blowing. What does that mean? Now the flat area or flat soil might have some huge mountains or some other sea levels to block those uneven temperature, and due to this reason the wind is arise. So the power of wind drives the sailboat. You know which are the sailboats that we are using them for even better navigations in oceans, that these sailboats were used in earlier times. They were using the direction of wind for change of their direction of their boat. It has been used to power the windmills that grind the grain. In earlier time, they were not having the atta maker or a huge chakkis. So this power of windmill was used to grind the grain. Windmill can also use the circular movement of blades to turn the turbine. Now here what exactly happens? You imagine a windmill which is rotating in a circular form. Along with that circular wheel, they attach a turbine. Now, turbine is a mechanical tool. Now, this turbine also starts rotating along with the wheel, and this turbine is generally connected to the generator, which will convert this kinetic energy into the electrical energy. So, this is increasingly used as a means of generating electricity from years and years. Solar energy. So as I told you earlier that ultimate source of energy is the sun energy. We would all die if there is no solar energy available to any of us. Even it is required not only by plants, all the animals, even by the insect. So every trophic level or every level of ecosystem is highly dependent on the solar energy. So it is said that it is the ultimate source of energy. So the sun is the closest star to the earth. It brings heat and light to the world. Some areas of world such as those closest to the equator have more sun than the others. So that means they have a longer daytime than the night time. The sun shines naturally, but it is not affected by the human activity. Now that is not possible for a normal human or for the scientists to switch off or switch on sun or the solar energy. Thank God. However, it is intensity varies with the seasons and it is not available at night. Now my question is, have you ever wondered that why for certain period of time sun is available to us and for the rest of time we experience night, because you know that our earth is also rotating and revolving. So during this rotation, sometimes we directly face the sun, so we face the daytime or we experience the sunlight, and sometimes we are quite opposite to the sun. Our earth, the part on the earth is quite opposite to the sun, so we do not face any sunlight, so we experience the night time. And that is the major reason that in some countries, when that is a daytime, at the same time in India we face the night time. So while making an international call, we always think that what would be the time at that particular country. You might have heard that certain countries are ahead of us or they are behind of us because of this reason. Now, non-renewable resources. So non-renewable sources, we need to work hard. We need to work on this resources, because once they are being used, they are going to empty forever. That means it is the most important part of our human being or our lives. So this fossil fuels, we need to work hard, because if we are not using them wisely, they are going to extinct. That means they are going to vanish from our resources, and for the coming or the further generation, they won't be available for their respective uses. So this fuels are fossil fuels. They are categorized under coal, petroleum and the natural gases, and all three are widely used by the human population. Now fossil fuels, now name itself says that they have come from the fossil. Fossil, that means dead remains of plants and animals which took millions of years to get processed and converted into fossil fuels. Now they took millions of years to form. They are the product of fossilized remains of dead plants and animals. You might have heard that years back or millions of years back, we used to have a huge animals like dinosaurs. So these animals might have got died and buried under the soil, and they might have buried under this temperature for years and years. So they have turned into the fossil fuels that they have exposed to the heat and pressure deep within the earth crust. And there are many types of fossil fuels such as the petroleum, which we also call the gasoline. In other countries, they call it gasoline, natural gas and the coal. Natural gas that we are using as a CNG or sometime LPG, and coal that we are using as a fuel for the goods trains. Now forest. Forests, they are called the treasures. Now treasure, that means they are something very important for sustaining our human life. So forests have moderate climate. They help to clean the air and water and the house wildlife. So they are also provide the thousands of wood product to the related jobs. You just imagine that your house without the furniture, and that all furniture has come from the wood. If you visit the various part of India like south in Kerala, you might have seen that in their forest or in their farms they have the trees which from which they collect even the gum or the sticky part, which is used further for the medicinal use. Even if you have visited the Kashmir, the northernmost part of India, their forests are having so nice structure, textured wood, which is also used like sisam and some other wood which is so expensive, which they further use to make a decorative or the wooden furniture. So this forest are not only limited for the wood requirement, also they are the house for so many animals, like our animals who are residing in the grassland or the forest land. So these animals are also important to maintain the ecosystem. So it is very important to maintain the forest as our natural resources. You recently have heard or read about the Australian fires, which lasted for many days, and in that fire the koalas, very important natural resources of that forest, 80% of koalas have been affected. So further this is going to endanger this kind of species, which may lead to uncertainty in our food chains. Now trees are also used to make paper, hockey sticks, flooring and the food. You know that the areas which are very prone to earthquakes, there they don't build the houses which are made up of bricks and cement, but they are using the wooden blocks to build those houses because they are quite sturdy and they can withstand the higher Richter scale earthquake. So they are not only used for making furniture, but also the paper industry, hockey or your bat sticks, flooring, houses and even for the certain food requirement. Forests face threats from the fire, pollution, erosion and acid rain. Now fire that is uncertain because of friction or too much of heat, that heat comes from the global warming, or a pollution which is again due to the man-made activities, erosion because of the flood, and flood happen when there is lot of deforestation, and acid rain because of surrounding industry. So this all four actually threat the forest and that affect the forest animals as well as forest products hugely. So we need to work on this four characteristics. Now fossil fuels are highly one of the most valuable natural resources in modern time. We cannot think our day or our life without the fossil fuels. Like just imagine a day without petroleum. Even if you have a car, like let's say a BMW car, that will not run without petroleum. Even if your torrent power or any other electricity producing vendor or a merchant cannot produce an electricity without the help of coal or some other products. So we can imagine how important these fossil fuels are to the mankind. So it is estimated that 86% of world's energy comes directly from burning fossil fuels. Now you imagine if out of 100 energy that we are using, 86 come from the fossil fuels. So you can imagine what big number of fossil fuels we are using on a daily scales. And these fossils are quite non-renewable. That means once they are used, they are gone forever. And for regaining or recycling, they take hundreds or the millions of the years. So fossil fuels are the source of energy for almost every machine, including generators that produce the electricity. So we cannot imagine our life or our day without the fossil fuels. But at the same time, it is a question that are they sustainable? Are we going to save them for the coming generations? So here our problems start for saving this natural resources. Now because fossil fuels, હવે એને શું થયું છે? The fossil fuels take so long to form, they are being consumed faster than they can be produced. So it takes a 1 liter of petrol to get used within a minute or a 5 minute, but it have taken 5 millions of years to produce that 1 liter of petrol. So you just imagine how fast we use it and how slow it took to produce. Fossil fuels are the major contributor to the air pollution, because if your car is so nice or new, its engine is so powerful, it will burn that fossil fuel completely, leading not that much of air pollution. But imagine your bike, scooter or car which is quite old will not as efficiently burn this fossil fuel, leading to release of poisonous gases, and these gases are going to go in the air, where further they will mix with the water along with the rain and turn into the acid rain, turning into the change of the pH of the surrounding, which is again a threat to the globe, and which is the question that where we can stop this happening. Now, as they are the major contributor to the air pollution, because when they are burned they release many dangerous gases like nitrogen dioxide, methane, carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, sulfur monoxide. So either we have to make sure that these gases are not released and these fossil fuels burn completely, or we need to completely ban this kind of fossil fuels so that further we can save our earth from the global warming. So I hope that you have understood the introductory part of chapter 14, natural resources. I'll come with the part 2 with the notes and more detailed explanation. So this was just an introduction. I hope you have enjoyed. Wait for the second part. Thank you.